copyright material used in this video is being used under the fair use for educational purposes. Before I get started with this, I'm going to give a brief commentary here because he immediately off the bat attempts to confuse people by combining two things. We know that the heliocentric claim is that the Earth rotates approximately 24 hours. It makes one rotation. Okay, and that's what gives us our day and night. Immediately off the bat, he is going to attempt to equate the sidereal day, which the sidereal day is if you have a star constellation in the sky, the amount of time it takes for that star constellation to come back to the same point. The claim is that the Earth is rotating, which I'm about to show it is not. But they try to lump the two together so their math will work. They are not one and the same. The stars are rotating on a different cycle than the sun and the moon. Okay, so I just want to make you aware of that, and let's listen to what he has to say. Also, for those of you that don't know, there is a lot of claims every time. Gravity is kind of the god in the gaps. Anytime they can't explain something, they say gravity. Okay, most people are already aware of that. But I just want to remind you of the heliocentric claim and make you aware in case you didn't know about the difference between the sidereal. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with this here.
I'm Professor Kane, the publisher of Universe Today. The Earth feels firm and solid beneath your feet.
That's because it is.
Calm and quiet, right? And yet we know the planet is rapidly spinning on its axis, completing one full rotation every day. As we're gravitationally bound to the planet, we're hurtling around in space right along with it. We follow a circular path around the Earth at hundreds of kilometers per second. So just how fast does it spin? And how fast are we rotating around on the surface? Before we can talk speed, I gotta clarify how long a day is. It gets a little sticky. We count a day
because it's a lie.
Hours. This is the length of time it takes for the sun to return to the exact same spot in the sky as it was in the day before. Astronomers call this a solar day. And here's where it gets a little complicated. As we're taking a full year to go around the sun and changing our relative position to our star, we have to add about 4 minutes every day to nudge the sun back into the same spot. Which means that if you look down at the Earth and watch it turn one complete rotation on its axis, you'd count 23.93 hours. This is what's known as a sidereal day.
That's a lie.
An accurate measurement of the planet's rotation. This is the amount of time we're going to use to calculate the speed the Earth turns at. Let's assume that you're standing on the equator, the halfway point between the North and South Pole. Over the course of a sidereal day, you'll travel along the entire circumference of the Earth and end back at your starting point. We know the circumference of the Earth is 40,075 kilometers. Divide 23.93 hours into the circumference, and you get 1,675 kilometers per hour, or 465 meters per second. Every second that goes by, you've hurtled almost half a kilometer through space.
Okay, now that was the really point that I wanted to get out of this video, but I'm going to let him talk a little bit longer here. But just keep that in mind, a half a kilometer per second. Okay, it's going to be very important.
Space, and you didn't even break a sweat. The spinning is even causing you to lift off the Earth a little bit, like you spin a weight on a string. That lifting force is about 0.3% of the force of gravity pulling you down. If the Earth wasn't spinning, you'd weigh 0.3% more than you do now. As you travel towards the poles, your speed of rotation slows down. Just imagine if you were standing straight upright on the North Pole, lining your own axis up with the Earth. It would take you a whole day.
Okay, now, according to him, okay, you could actually,
To turn around once, which is pretty slow, even by sloth standards. Our space agencies take advantage of this Earth's rotation to launch rockets. The closer you are to the equator, the less fuel you need to get into orbit, or the heavier payloads you can carry.
Okay, now I'll go ahead and tighten them up on this right here. One of the biggest space launching programs is the Swedish Space Corporation. They also have a very intensive balloon program, but that wasn't really the point. he skimmed over it. But according to their model, the weight between the North Pole and the equator, you would weigh different weights, okay, according to their model. So you could actually buy gold in one location where it would weigh less and take it to the other location where it would weigh more, and you could just travel back and forth and make money that way. But that's a absurd claim. Anyway, I need to pause this for a second, so I'll let him go ahead and finish, but I need to pause this so I can bring up the point of this video.
That's why Cape Canaveral in Florida is such a great place to launch rockets. Some clever people created Sea Launch, which blasts rockets off from an ocean platform right at the equator.
Okay, so that brings me to the point of this video here. The next two clips you're about to see here are very dangerous, and no one should ever reattempt these experiments at home. And I want you to remind you about that half a kilometer per second. All right, so keep that in mind. And we've all been told that snipers, when shooting over a long distance, actually have to take the rotation of the Earth into account for targeting what they're going to hit, because the bullet travels at such a high velocity that it actually breaks free the velcroed atmosphere as the Earth rotates. So they have to account for the Earth's rotation underneath the bullet, so to speak. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard that before, that snipers have to adjust for Coriolis effect. Okay? So don't attempt these, use your head, and here we go.
In the myth of bullets fired up, Adam and Jamie drew a bead on the myth that falling ammo can kill. You watch them mosey down to the Mojave Desert with big guns and live rounds to bust the myth. At the time, it seemed a minor miracle that they managed to find any bullets at all.
Oh my God.
But what you didn't see was that before they hit the desert, they stopped off at a deserted naval base to test out their adjustable rifle rig.
Well, we've come here to find out if you fire a bullet straight up into the air, will it come straight back down? How easy is it to find, and how easy is it to adjust a rig so that the bullet is remotely findable?
Okay, now the original Mythbusters that I went and tried to find was on that exact premise. You know, people shoot off guns in the United States on New Year's and other occasions, and it was, you know, would the bullet hurt you when it came back down? Okay, and the episode, because I used to use this as an argument, and the episode that I used to cite has been taken down. I just wanted to put this up to show that this did in fact exist. And so I'll just show a few more seconds of it, but I want to get on to the other video that proves the point more completely.
For the test, they only used a paintball gun, so there was absolutely no danger of anything going wrong.
Alright, that's bad.
That's not good.
That's beautiful. I'm just going to do a wind speed reading here. So the wind is 4 miles per hour out of south-southeast.
If there was a spanner in the works, it was always going to be the wind.
Ready when you are.
Time to put the rig through its paces.
So Jamie, will you give me a countdown before you fire?
Yes.
And I'll time it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go on to the other one here. Anyway, as you could see from the beginning of the video, they were able to locate some bullets. It seemed like they were 100 or so yards away from them when they did, if my memory serves me correctly. But I'm going to go ahead and go on to the other video because it proves the point much better. Okay, so these guys are shooting a 50 caliber machine gun up into the air. They've already done it twice. On their last attempt, you could hear a little bit of wind flow. It sounded like a bullet came down, but they didn't really capture it that well. So he's about to go do, I believe, 3 successive shots. And, well, I'll just let you watch this. Once again, don't ever try anything like this. These guys aren't the brightest people out there. But let's watch what happens.
So I didn't hear the bullets hitting the ground, but Jasperito says he heard it in like exactly around the same place. 1 minute and 40 seconds or 50 seconds. So this time, I didn't hear it though. So let's confirm that. Jasperi, okay. Reset. Let's do it one last time and that's it. If we don't hear it, we're gonna go based on the first two results that we got.
Okay.
The 1 minute and 50-second one.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Ask me if I'm ready.
Okay, I'll ask you.
If you have headphones, after he shoots these rounds, it's put them in. Run, Forrest.
That's right, can you hear me? Yes. When it hits 1 minute and 20 seconds, let me know. Okay. 1 minute. Oh,
you hear that?
You see? You hear that?
I heard it.
You hear that,
I
cabron?
heard it.
Is he really
It's
close?
right behind us.
Yeah, cabrons. That's the same sound. 150.
150.
150.
It's right behind us.
Yeah, cabron, it's here. Cabron, I hear.
I heard it.
I told you the sound. Because I hear something spinning.
Yeah, but spinning.
Let's go out. It's already.
Okay, so the point of that was, remember what he said in the heliocentric claim, the liar in the beginning of this video? He said that the Earth is spinning at about a 0.5 kilometer per second. So, do the math. The bullet stayed up 1 minute and 50 seconds. How far away should the bullet have been in that time, traveling at 0.5 kilometer per second? And if you didn't hear it, go back, re-listen to this. That lands close enough for the speaker to pick it up. Remember, bullets break free of the Earth because of their velocity, and the Earth rotates underneath them. No longer velcroed to the atmosphere. Okay? So you do the math. You know why you can hear the bullet? Because we're not moving, folks. We're stationary. And if you haven't seen the video on the railgun, it's level as well. So it's impossible to be a globe because we're not moving and we're level. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.